Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And joining me, as always, is my co-host from the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, Rebellious _ D23. D, what is good, baby?
Hey, what's going on, my man?
Hey, bro. Last night, we tried to do our reviews, and Michael, he came through the Matrix, and he said,
That's right.
He hit it with the Stone Cold, Y'all ain't doing
it. It's going to take more of that.
Yo, to everybody that's watching right now, like, I have Cox cable. I think it's okay, but it can suck sometimes. I don't know who works on the internet at 9 o'clock at night. Like, that's wild. Exactly. Eastern time too, just to let you guys know.
Exactly.
But as you can see on the TV monitor, we're going to be reviewing The Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf. And before we get into today's video, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks.
Podcast always in the description. The fellas did a episode on The Witcher season 1 of the Netflix series as well. Be sure to go check that out and like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't know if you saw that, but Jotaro almost fell over because I have this fan, bro. I got the fan on level 2. It's hot in this house, man. And
sometimes you gotta have it on level 2.
Yeah, hey, if it was on level 3, then the whole table would have blew over. But thank you for saying that, D. Yeah, we do have that on our podcast if you do want to check that out. But yeah, like I said, we're talking about The Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf. Now, I've never really gotten into The Witcher like that. I know that there are books. I know that there are video games. There's even a movie that came out back in the early 2000s. And, I just never really got into The Witcher like that. But I've heard so much praise from D, from Trav, from some of my other friends who are into The Witcher. And like, they're just like, it's a really awesome game. But my first introduction into The Witcher was when the Netflix series had came out with Henry Cavill. And I loved it. I thought it was fun. The action was on point. The music was on point. The story was good. And I can't wait until season 2 of that drops. But, going into this anime, is it an anime or is it a TV show, D? Is it because I think like Castlevania?
Yeah, I guess what cartoon/anime.
Okay, or a cartoon with anime feels, I guess.
Yeah,
kind of like Teen Titans. And we're just gonna call it an anime. But
yeah, let's call it an anime.
But yeah, it came out. I watched it and I loved it too. I loved it. Honestly, in my opinion, I like this more than I like the Witcher live action show.
Me too, as well.
D, what were your thoughts? Because see, now I want you to explain to some of our viewers who may not know that much about The Witcher or may only know what they've seen in the Netflix show like I do. So we have Vesimir, and that's Gerald's. Is it Gerald or Gerald?
Gerald.
Gerald.
Gerald
okay, sorry, don't kill me in the comments, please.
Yeah, please don't.
It's Gerald. So, like, explain, like, who is Vesimir? Because you say he's in the video games, right?
Yes, he is. Vesimir is basically like the father figure to Geralt and the other remaining wolf witchers, to my knowledge. And in the games, like I was telling you earlier today, actually, he's actually a lot older in the games. I'm guessing he's over 100 because he's supposed to be 70 in this rendition, which is the first time you ever see him early in his life. And it's interesting to start getting dialogue and background on the other characters. So yeah, he's basically the one who runs Kaer Morhen. Which is the broke down castle. We actually see what happens to the castle. This is the state you see the castle in, or the ruins in the games. And it's nice to see what, like I said, unless you read the novels, which may not even cover it. But this is what happened to it, and why there's only so many witchers in their school now.
Yep. Well, yeah, it makes sense why this would be a prequel, so that way that it can explore the world of The Witcher. Because like you said, in the video games, we only know about Geralt, and that's it. We don't know anything about any of the other characters besides what they show us in the game, or like you said, even in the novels, because you haven't read the novels. So you
also have other schools that are only a few of them are touched on, which is one, the School of the Viper, which is featured in the second game, Assassin of Kings. where Geralt basically has to go up against someone, the leader of the Viper School, which it's very cool concept. But like I said, outside of that and here and there, you meet a Witcher from the School of the Cats or the School of the Cat. So it's interesting to see them start doing something visually with this stuff. It's very exciting.
Yeah. Well, I just love how it gives the backstory on Vesimir and how, it showed him when he was a child. Mm-hmm. And they, of course, they know about the monsters and stuff in this world and whatnot. And we see his backstory with his friend Elena. Mm-hmm. And we just see that after Deglin comes and kills the demon that was inside his friend's. Was it his friend's mom, or was it just? I think it was just a woman at the house.
Yes,
it was like the mistress of the people that they were working for.
Yes,
and
that's correct.
And it's just like after he sees Deglin kill the demon, he's just like, "Yo, I want to be a Witcher too.
I want in.
Yeah, I want in." And
also, the more important thing is he sees how much he got paid to do it.
Yeah,
and then he's like, he's running around looking like Aladdin at first.
Yeah, because he came from nothing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so it makes sense why he wants to, do something so that way that he can bring some money. And he left his family behind, and
exactly
was just like, I'm going to be a Witcher now. And like how you said, we jump towards how he is now in the present day, and like you say, he's 70 years old, but the man looks like he's still in his
mid 30s.
He looks like mid 20s, early 30s. Yeah. No, so like that's crazy. It's kind of like Saiyans in Dragon Ball Z, where it's just like no matter how old they get, they still look young compared to some of the other characters, which is weird because Tien, like I think he's in his 50s or 60s, but he still looks like he's in his 20s.
You would think that Tien will look older because of intense meditation.
Yeah,
and things like you would think that would aid, putting more strain on the body. But
same thing with Yamcha, because Yamcha's older than Goku too.
But Yamcha got out of the game. He shouldn't be stressed. He's just hanging out.
I mean, well, bro, when you think about it, when somebody's always threatening to blow up the earth all the time, I mean, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, hey, we need. You see, he won't. Oh well, you haven't watched Resurrection of F, but in Resurrection of F. Like he was the only person that wasn't there. Him or Chaozu, they didn't show up. But Tien was there though, and Master Roshi.
I bet he did. And what they get for showing up? An ass whooping?
No, they whooped ass. Hey, they whooped all the Frieza soldiers' asses. But
the soldiers, okay.
Yeah, but of course they won't fight in Frieza. Okay. That's what Goku. Okay. You need to watch the movie. But anyway, back to The Witcher.
Snowball.
I like how. We're introduced to Tetra, who is a sorceress, and she's like, "Yo, we need to get rid of the Witchers because it's like they're the scum of humanity," and like she's slowly building up this revolution that of an army that wants to take the Witchers out, and they end up partnering her and Vesimir up so that way that they could end up taking out Kitsu, who is this demon that's in the forest and whatnot, and then they end up going to fight her and her monster, and we come to find out that Kitsu is somebody that used to be elf, but they ended up turning into a monster because I don't think they explain how they. I
think it was the I guess it was either splicing or some sort of serum. It could have been something like the trial of glasses, which I explained to you is how they. I mean, I guess if you expose an elf or another being who's already more magically inclined, then that's what you would get. Because she was, she was playing mind games with them.
She was able to do the illusions, like all that stuff, man. And something else I want to touch on is like right from the gate when it opens up, like the action is very gory. I know me and D, we had talked about this because we thought that it was the same people who did Castlevania, who did The Witcher, but it wasn't. I can't remember who I said it was that did it. They did Dota 2, which we did do a review for Dota 2, and that is up here on our channel.
Very similar art style.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that it was the same studio that did Castlevania, and I can't remember.
Well, I guess it's kind of. I don't know if this is considered still traditional, like art or illustration, or if it's digital. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not sure if digital stuff is particularly like a certain studio, if it's digital, or is it a program that they're using?
I don't know. I mean, that is a good question. Yeah. But I will say too, it's Studio Mir. That's the name of the studio. And just to list some of the things that they've also worked on, The Legend of Korra, which was the sequel to Avatar. They did an episode of Black Dynamite. They did some stuff for the Boondocks. They did some stuff for Voltron, Young Justice. So
they've been around.
Like I said, Dota. So it's like, they've done some pretty big things, man. The Death of Superman, which was the movie that came out back in 2018. And they also did Mortal Kombat Legends, Scorpion's Revenge. Are they doing the other Mortal Kombat? No, they're not doing the other Mortal Kombat. But still,
yes,
like they have a long list of bangers that they've put out.
Yeah, that's a damn good resume.
Yeah, actually. Exactly. So I feel like that Netflix, they did a good job with getting this studio because, like you said, like they have an impressive resume for stuff that they've done. Now, also too, like I was saying, like the animation on this is really good. The music, just the overall story of it. Like I said,
I really enjoyed it.
Like I said early in the review, just seeing like the backstory on all of the characters and whatnot, and seeing that there was a school that was full of Witchers, and we see going back to Vesimir when he first started in the school during the flashback. I was telling Dee, there's this scene where they go to like this swamp-like area, and like these monsters come out and like they just start killing the kids, like bam, 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 bam. Yeah, and it's like it was crazy how they was killing them, because it's like they would bring them in, and then it looked like they teleported in a bubble,
like,
something like that. Yeah, but
it was like when they teleport, they weren't allowed to go, and it was just like,
and it was crazy, man.
Yeah, it's really like watching human bubbles pop. It's very strange.
Exactly.
Kind of an intriguing kind of like an art form to use, or something you typically, I don't know how to explain it, but it's something you typically wouldn't see in an action or suspense scene.
Exactly.
It's just really unique, I guess.
It looks like something that you would see in a video game.
Yeah,
that's what it because it was unique. It's something that I hadn't seen before. Now, what's crazy about this is Dee told me to watch this movie at home, and I ended up watching it at the gym. I didn't care if somebody said anything to me. Let them say something. But like I said, it was a really good movie.
Yes.
All I can do is highly recommend it. Dee, do you have any final thing that you want to say before we wrap this thing up?
I want to say that the main difference between this and what Netflix is doing right now with the Henry Cavill Witcher live action is that they're using more of the magic aspects of The Witcher. It's something we talked about earlier today as well. I'm really appreciating that, because that's what makes the game so fun, is you can mix and blend, and you can use magic, you can specialize with hand to hand, or you could do both. And it's a very, very cool game engine, and it just feels so fluid. And that's what I got from this, the animated version, and I really enjoyed it. It was just like how he put a hole in the basilisk, and then he like burned it from the inside.
Yeah,
absolutely
that was dope.
Sweet.
That was dope, bro. When Tetra put him inside of the ice dome, and it was sweet, man.
Yes, it definitely was.
With that being said, what is your final rating that you give this movie?
I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this, and I'm just happy to see them bringing more of the Witcher world to life. And I look forward to seeing more projects hopefully in the future.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Again, like I said, it was a really good story. I enjoyed this movie from start to finish, and just seeing this world and seeing like all of the possibilities that it could explore. Because I was telling Dee that it's like, because we did our review for Dota 2, and I enjoyed Dota 2, but there was nothing there that made me want to watch a second season compared to watching this. Now, at the same time, this is a movie, and then that was an actual series. But I feel like that with the direction that this story is going, I feel like that they could do 2 more movies, because there's just so much room for growth with Vesimir and with Geralt. It's just so much that they can do. So for me,
go ahead.
I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I want to see a sequel. And nice. D, you had something else that you wanted to say?
Yeah, I just want to say it's just that's the thing, and you hadn't touched the games yet, but it's just knowing that there's 4, I believe there's 4 other schools that they haven't even, they touched on. You see someone from the School of the Cat, you see 3 guys or you get to know 3 characters from the School of the Viper, but it's just like there's more to be done with this. No, there's 5 other schools technically, so there's 6 in all, and it's just like, why not? Let's expand. It doesn't have to stop with just the Geralt tree. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like branch out, and then you have other conflicts all around the Witcher world. Yeah, it's just it's bigger than Geralt, basically is what I'm trying to say. And just to touch on Dota, because I was a fan of that, I think that it'll get better as that goes, because I was a big fan of seeing the other Elder Dragons meet in that kind of council. I thought that was kind of cool thinking back on it, but we'll see what happens with both titles.
Yeah, and also too, just to touch on what you were saying about Geralt, I think that it would be interesting to see like his backstory as well, because like again, I never played any of the games, and I really haven't heard a lot of people who have played The Witcher 1. Most of the people I know, they've only played the second one and the third one, but it would be interesting to see how he became so well known in his world. Because in The Witcher 3, I mean, not The Witcher 3, but in the Netflix show, it's just like everybody already knows who he is. You know what I'm saying? Because he's already a badass. And I would assume that that's the same thing in the video game. So it'd be interesting just to see his hardships that he has to go through and what leads to him being the man that he becomes. And also, too, like you were saying, at the end of this movie, we see him with other members of the Witchers, the ones that did survive when the humans and the monsters attacked the castle. Exactly. But it would be interesting to see like what happens to those kids as well, because like you told me, like some of them you really don't hear any more about in the games, and one of his friends is in one of the games as DLC. But it's just interesting to see like the bonds that they built between each other as kids, and what they had to go through, because I'm pretty sure some of them probably didn't even become Witchers, because remember, it's like, they had to go through those mutations and take the medicine and stuff like that. Or did all of these kids already go through all of that stuff and they're already Witchers? It's just that they have to be trained. I believe that's what the scenario is. I believe so. But anyways, with that being said, thank you for watching our review. Make sure that you hop in the comment sections, talk with us about it. We're always available to talk with you guys. Let us know what you thought about the movie. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What is the score that you give the film? D, let them know where they can find you at in social media land.
With pleasure. But hey, as the Witchers would say, it's going to cost you.
Uh-oh.
You can find me at rebellious_D23 at Instagram.com. Banks, if they need somebody other than a Witcher to help them and save them, where they going to find you at?
You can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. And then you can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again for watching this review. Make sure you check out some of our other reviews, reaction videos, and interviews that we have here on the channel. Brand new podcast episodes come out Tuesday. And then that episode that is on the podcast gets turned into video, and it is on our page on Friday. Like I always say, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.